The 1936 World Series matched the New York Yankees against the New York Giants, with the Yankees winning in 6 games to earn their 5th championship. The Yankees played their first World Series without Babe Ruth and their first with Joe DiMaggio, Ruth having been released by the Yankees after the 1934 season. He retired in 1935 as a member of the Boston Braves. Summary: AL New York Yankees 4 versus NI New York Giants 2. Postponed from October 1 due to rain. Matchups: Game 1. Carl Hubbell won Game 1, allowing only 1 run on George Selkirk's home run and 7 hits, after Dick Bartell's 5th-inning home run off of Red Ruffing tied the game. An RBI single by Gus Mancuso scoring Mellott, who doubled to lead off in the 6th inning, put the Giants up 2-1. They padded the lead in the 8th. 2 singles and a walk loaded the bases before a walk to Burgess Whitehead and sacrifice fly by Travis Jackson scored a run each. Hubbell's 2-run single capped the game's scoring. He pitched a perfect 9th as the Giants took a 1-0 series lead. Game 2. The Yankees won Game 2 at the Polo Grounds by an 18-4 count, setting series records, as of 2012, for the biggest margin of victory in a World Series game, 14 runs, and the most runs scored in one game with 18. They loaded the bases with no outs in the first off of Hal Schumacher on 2 singles and a walk, before sacrifice flies by Lou Gehrig and Bill Dickey put them up 2-0. 2 walks and a wild pitch by lefty Gomez in the second allowed the Giants to cut the lead to 2-1. But the Yankees blew the game open in the third. A single, walk and error loaded the bases with no outs. Al Smith relieved Schumacher and allowed a 2-run single to Gehrig and RBI single to Dickey. A 1-out walk reloaded the bases before Tony Lazzeri's grand slam off of Dick Kaufman made it 9-1. Yankees. The Giants scored the last 3 runs in the 4th on a bases-loaded walk to Dick Bartell, followed by a 2-run single by Bill Terry. The Yankees added a run in the 6th on Joe DiMaggio's sacrifice fly with 2 on off of Frank Gabler, then loaded the bases in the 7th on a walk and 2 singles before Lazzeri's flyout and Gomez's groundout scored a run each. In the 9th, Jake Powell drew a leadoff walk off of Harry Gumbert, stole second, moved to third on a groundout, and scored on Gomez's single. After another single, back-to-back RBI singles by Red Rolf and DiMaggio made it 15-4 Yankees. 1 out later, Dickey's 3-run home run capped the scoring. DiMaggio made a tremendous play in Game 2. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning, Hank Lieber drove the ball 490 feet, 150 meters, deep into dead center, and Joe caught the ball running up the steps of the clubhouse. This remarkable catch was at least 40 feet, 12 meters, further than Willie Mays' far more celebrated catch of Vic Wertz's drive to deep straightaway center in Game 1 of the 1954 World Series. After DiMaggio's game-ending grab, President Roosevelt, who was in attendance, saluted Joe for his great catch as he rode off in the presidential limousine. All 3 ninth-inning outs were made by DiMaggio. Yankee second baseman Tony Lazzeri became only the 2nd player ever to hit a Grand Slam home run in the World Series. Elmer Smith of the Cleveland Indians had been the sole achiever of that feat in World Series play, doing so in Game 5 of the 1920 World Series. Game 3. Hard luck loser Freddie Fitzsimmons allowed only 2 hits over 7 innings. One of them a tremendous home run by Gehrig in the 2nd. But after the Giants tied the game in the 5th on Jimmy Ripple's home run off of Bump Hadley, Frankie Crocetti's single off his glove with the count 0-2 and 2 outs scored Jake Powell with the decisive run in the 8th. Pat Malone pitched a scoreless 9th for the save. Game 4. The Yankees struck first in the 2nd when Jake Powell reached on an error and scored on George Selkirk's single off of Cole Hubble. Next inning, Frank Crocetti hit a leadoff double and scored on Red Rolf's single. Then Lou Gehrig's 2-run home run gave the Yankees a 4-0 lead. Jimmy Ripple's RBI single in the 4th off of Monty Pearson put the Giants on the board. Bill Terry's ground out with runners on 1st and 3rd in the 8th cut the Yankees' lead to 2. But they got that run back in the bottom half when Gehrig hit a leadoff double off of Frank Gabler and scored on Powell's single. Pearson won his first World Series game. He won 3 more in 1937, 1938, and 1939. Game 5. The Giants struck first with back-to-back leadoff doubles by JoJo Moore and Dick Bartell off of Red Ruffing. RBI singles by Jimmy Ripple and Burgess Whitehead made it 3-0 Giants. George Selkirk's home run off of Hal Schumacher in the 2nd put the Yankees on the board. Next inning, with runners on 2nd and 3rd, an error on Frank Corsetti's ground ball allowed another run to score. A similar situation in the 6th on Burgess Whitehead's ground ball allowed the Giants to pad their lead to 4-2. But in the bottom half, 3 consecutive 2-out singles allowed the Yankees to tie the game. Bill Terry's sacrifice fly in the top of the 10th inning off of Pat Malone, scoring JoJo Moore, who doubled to leadoff and moved to 3rd on a sacrifice bunt, helped the Giants win Game 5, 5-4. Game 6. The Giants loaded the bases in the 1st off of Lefty Gomez on a single and 2 walks before Mel Ott drove in 2 with a double. But Jake Powell's home run after a 2-out triple off of Freddie Fitzsimmons tied the game in the 2nd. Next inning, Lou Gehrig's sacrifice fly after 2 one-out singles put the Yankees up 3-2. They extended the lead to 5-2 in the 4th on 4 singles, 2 of which by Gomez and Red Rolf scoring a run each. Ott's home run in the 5th cut the lead to 5-3. Then in the 7th, Dick Bartell hit a leadoff double and scored on Bill Terry's single to make it a 1-run game. Tony Lazzari's RBI single in the 8th off of Slick Castleman made it 6-4 Yankees. But the Giants again cut the lead to 1 on JoJo Moore's home run in the bottom half off of Johnny Murphy. The Yankees, though, blew it open in the 9th. After 2 lead-off singles off of Dick Kaufman, an error on Bill Dickey's fielder's choice allowed 1 run to score. A walk loaded the bases before Powell drove it 2 with a single. Harry Gumbert relieved Kaufman and after a walk loaded the bases. Murphy's single, Corsetti's walk, Rolf's ground out, and Joe DiMaggio's single scored a run each to make it 13-5 Yankees. Murphy retired the Giants in order in the bottom of the 9th to give the Yankees the championship. Composite line score, 1936 World Series, 4-2, New York Yankees, AL, over New York Giants, NL. Aftermath. The Yankees' 5th championship tied the record at that time, which was shared by the Boston Red Sox and the Philadelphia Athletics, who also had 5 World Series titles. The Yankees also tied the American League record at that time for the most World Series appearances, with 8, also shared with the Athletics. They broke both records the following year. The Giants appeared in their 11th World Series, extending the record they already held at that time, and their 7th World Series defeat also extended the record they already owned. DiMaggio would go on to be the only person to play on 4 World Championship teams in his first 4 years in the big leagues. The 1936-39 Yankees. The Yankee left fielder Jake Powell started the year with the Washington Senators before coming over in the middle of the year in a trade for Ben Chapman. In this series, the unheralded Powell would lead all hitters in hits, 10, batting average, .455, runs, 8, and walks, 4. Add a home run with 5 runs batted in, and grabbed the Yankees' only stolen base. Notes: Cohen, Richard Monsieur, Neft, David S. 1990. The World Series. Complete play-by-play of every game. 1903-1989. New York. St. Martin's Press. pp. 162-166. ISBN 0-312-03960-3. Reichler, Joseph. 1982. The Baseball Encyclopedia. 5th ed. Macmillan Publishing. p. 2144. ISBN 0-02-5790102. 1936 World Series at worldseries.com. MLB.com. 1936 World Series at Baseball Almanac. 1936 World Series at baseball-reference.com. The 1936 postseason games. Box scores and play-by-play. At Retrosheet. History of the World Series 1936 at the Sporting News. Archived from the original on 2008. Audio. Movietone newsreel of 36 World Series. Audio. Bill Terry and Joe McCarthy conversation before Game 1. Audio. Game 3 radio broadcast. Part 1. Audio. Game 3 radio broadcast. Part 2. Audio. Game 3 radio broadcast. Part 3. Audio. Game 3 radio broadcast. Part 4.